Hey there, Dango Stu here. Today's video is about salvaging a small sailing boat that sunk and is proudly sponsored by marineengine.com. Before we get into the main boat salvage, we'll take a look at a small job I had to do in the morning to do with recovering a lost mooring. Thank you. All right, back soon.
From all the footage from that job, I managed to get a few snippets where the silt cleared long enough to see something at all. That sort of bluey section you can see is the vinyl tubing on the eye of the rope, just to give it a little bit of chafe protection. And you can see a bit of the chain there. I end up just turning the torch off because it's easier to use your imagination than to try and see a lot of the time. But eventually got that light chain through the eye of the rope, then through the ground chain on the mooring, probably 2 or 3 times, then shackled to itself, which hopefully will be strong enough to allow the mooring to be lifted by a mooring contractor and, repaired properly. So that done, time to head to the surface.
Once we had a rope and shackle securely attached to the ground chain of the mooring, it was time to head over and see Carl and check out the situation with his little sailing boat. When I got there, the first thing I did was do a bit of a run past the boat using the Raymarine side scan sonar so I could get a good sense of which way the boat was oriented. Carl kind of knew from the way the stays were arranged above the water, but it was nice just to see it. Rob, do you want me to maybe have a quick recce and just probably take a sling straight down and...
Yeah, I reckon you better hook on one on the front to start with.
Okay, like on the stem, the eye,
Yeah.
the toe eye?
Because I can't feel that heavy underwater.
No, that's it, till you get to the surface. Do you have a rope you'd like me to use for that?
Sling.
So you want to put a sling through the eye with a shackle?
That'd probably be.
Yep, okay.
So we've got right, hasn't used any oil? Probably would have used some oil, but...
It's certainly, oil pressure's rock solid.
Yep.
Catch can's got a drop in it,
Well,
almost nothing.
Well, you're allowed that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of it was a little bit oil, but I think actually that's from when the viscosity was down.
Yep.
And it was really only 20 minutes running and then I changed it, so it was pretty quick. It was pretty obvious when it...
Yep. Oh, it was good little...
Yeah.
So...
That's the one bit you got me to do, tighten the hoses.
Yeah.
So get me to do one job. Then I got a ribbing this
So I
week.
have something for you now. For next time you want to pressurise.
Oh, okay.
But you'll be able to use it for anything.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah. So my green can, you can have my green can.
Famous green can.
I have a nice new shiny famous one.
Oh, do you? I feel honoured. It's like the master handing his samurai sword
Well, you
down.
gave me some batteries, so I thought I sort of...
Oh, no, you don't. You gave me a whole bloody fixed motor. I still owe you.
It's right back here, hang on.
Yeah, that's the trouble.
Okay, now you're right. Into the twist in it.
Hey, where's the bow of the...
I think the bow's out towards Long Island.
Yeah, this is the it's sort of resting on the keel and on its stern. So just like the Titanic, I think. Yeah.
All right, should I take that shackle? Yeah, if you hold the other end, I'll just take the shackle.
No, hang on, no, it's the joint. It's the joint.
Okay, and how long is this?
That's 6 metres.
Okay, all right, we'll see how we go.
This as well, Stu, if, I'm going to put the remote on it. This guy.
Yep.
You want...
Well, we'll put this on first,
Okay.
and then we'll see what we see as well. All right, back soon.
I had a look on the stem for this tow eye, which I couldn't find because there isn't one there. So we ended up attaching to the same point the mooring was attached to, which was strong enough. But it turns out afterwards, Ron told me there's actually a really strong eye just after the mast that's the centre of gravity of the boat, where we could have attached to and pretty much tried to lift it straight. So next time we salvage this type of boat, we'll know. Because the boat sunk on its swing mooring, I needed to disconnect that so that we could tow it to shore, otherwise it would still be tethered to the concrete block.
Yeah, Slingsby's got the shackle straight onto the bow. Carl was also down in Sydney last week on a different boat, and because you guys had never met Carl before, I actually did a small intro with him while we were practicing using some drones. So I'll quickly flash back to that, given I haven't edited that video yet, and you're about to meet Carl in this video.
This is the comparison.
And the weight.
That's an original Mavic Pro and a Mini 2.
Yeah, which this used to be the smallest, lightest drone that you could get.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first got one thinking, wow, this is tiny, you know?
Yeah.
And now it's a clunker.
Sorry, I haven't introduced properly. This is Carl from the island, who lives on Dango as well. And originally from Chile and then went to the US,
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, now back on Dango. We lived on Dango in 1992, so
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, a long time ago.
So, and when did you move to New York?
In the mid 90s.
Okay.
Went to New York for 20 years of working.
Yeah,
and
right,
now
okay.
Back to Dangar. So
That's quite the spread. South America, Chile, New York, Dangar.
yeah.
That's a t-shirt if ever I
And
saw one.
now applying for a position at Dangar Stew's drone as drone pilot.
You've been accepted.
Okay, terrific. Wow.
Actually, this is your test flight. The pressure's on.
Ah.
You're in a restricted area. So step 1, check for cops.
That's it.
Carl's on drone duty once more. It's great that launches from the steel boat, Carl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if that just
Yeah, nice. Just as it
emerges
breaks.
out of the water. You know?
It's a great shot of the barge and Renko together.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Try and lift it up a bit more. Put something on the mast to hold it. Just put the sling around.
Am I going in?
Yep.
You got any cam?
I'm already wet. I can do it.
I'm happy to go.
No. I have to test a little freak so you can go.
Any cowboys amongst us to let
Well, I was going to say, do you have a long rope? I used to be a deckhand. I've got half a chance of getting it within 10 shots.
Well, just did your Coxon's course on the section 38 or whatever it is.
Do you have any long ropes?
Lots of long slings.
Yeah. Actually, we could probably get
But put even just
a long sling doubled. We'd probably get it from here. It's getting closer.
Oh,
showboating.
3 men cut rope. Oh, here she comes.
What's her name?
incredible those in the drone.
Vanessa.
Got a line on it, so up to you now.
Oh, Mark's boat swung round now.
Now if we just put in some operatic music here, the beginning of a great swell, some violins.
Now the boat was against the wharf with the gunnels above water. Rob got his petrol pump out and just started pumping the hull dry.
The little Balmain bug is floating again. I think it's a Ingling or something, the boat. Guys have just been tying the mast off to neighbouring wharves so it doesn't roll over when the tide goes out.
Once Carl's boat was safely tied to his wharf, I had to drop Adrian back over at the oyster farms on the mainland, and on the way I've got a mate called Steve who rescued a timber ferry, and it had an old Detroit in it, so we thought we'd just stop by and have a look at that before I dropped him off.
A very interesting website called Big Prop. Did you come across that?
No.
And you could basically work out your horsepower for your boat speed if you put all the figures
So what
in.
your whole waterline length is?
So the hull speed's 10.9 knots, I think.
Yep.
And it needs 144 horsepower to push it at that.
To push it at that speed in no current.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was originally, it didn't have this engine, it had a Atlas Imperial.
That's all right, as long as you don't say Cummins, that's fine.
Three-cylinder,
Wow.
60 horsepower.
Wow.
Yeah, it would have been heaps of torque, but it would have been a big stroke,
Yeah.
all stroking engine.
Yeah. I spent weeks down here,
Yeah.
and the rest of the boat with the pressure washer.
Yes, I bet.
And then
Yeah. Oh, I
So
know.
how long was it? How long was the beach for?
Well, it was just over a month,
Yeah.
but it was in and out of the tide all the time.
Which is the worst case scenario, isn't it?
So where did the water come from? Stop.
So basically the hull and deck is waterproof, supposedly. So, and it's got scuppers above. But what happened is they took the vents off and left them open, 4-inch hull suckers.
So essentially it broke its mooring, ran aground, heeled over at a low tide,
Yeah.
and then
filled
every
up with
high
water.
tide just came in. So it wasn't actually a hull breach as such, it was just,
No, it just fell over basically.
yeah, it just fell over on its side. And
Yeah.
But and then of course the next tide comes up and it doesn't float, it just fills.
It just fills up with water. When I had 7 pumps running on here, we're pumping 120,000 litres an hour.
Wow. And we
still didn't win it.
Wow.
You know,
And you went in with some plywood and like nail guns or whatever, and
the side from the sponson
yep.
to above the high water mark. So I was
Yep.
standing 16 sheets of ply on end.
Yep.
But we still couldn't.
Even with that on, you
We
couldn't.
couldn't beat it. Yeah. And I was right at the end of my tether. I thought I've got to do something because the water's still getting in faster than we can pump.
Faster you can get it out. Wow.
And what it did, we had one more 1.8 metre tide.
Yep.
The tide was dropping. It was
Dropping,
another 2
yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
But so what I did at high tide, screwed the oil boom. You know the boom.
Yeah. You put around it, stop the pollution.
I
Yeah.
screwed the floats to the top of the plywood, and at low tide, I got Graham actually came and gave me.
Oh, from the island.
I
Yeah.
made a 1 metre extension lead for the battery drill. Extension, stainless one.
Oh yeah.
And I took some 2x3s and we pushed the skirt of the boom, because the boom has a float on the top, all the way around the top, then it's got a skirt, it had a 4 metre skirt on
Oh, okay.
and a chain.
That's a great
around the
idea.
bottom. So we fixed that to the bottom,
Yeah.
and then when we pumped, because that skirt had been in the water for 4 weeks already, the growth on it stopped the water.
Stop the water.
Slowed it down enough for us to get
Water out.
You did it. Well done.
It was an hour and a half pumping, and it was dry.
Wow.
And it was sort of it floated on a 0.9 tide, but it was in a trough that Rob mopped up.
Yeah. So your deal was that. So the original owner, when that happened, was given a really big bill to cut the boat up and just kill it, take it away?
Well, if you're given a quote, yeah.
Quote for it, yeah, not a bill, a quote to do it. And your deal was if you could salvage it, you would charge him nothing in exchange for the boat?
Well, I went to see him because I used to go down to band practice every Sunday, and I went past and my brain cannot stand a boat being on it.
No, that's it, yeah, it needs saving, yeah.
And I went and had a look at it, and it's copper sheathed.
Yeah, nice.
So that was something that swayed me. And I went across to Gary, previous owner, because I had a look at these guys. They'd put boards over the windows, just separate boards over the windows, badly. There's no ways it was going to seal.
Yeah.
And I just said to Gary, I don't think those guys would.
Guys tried before you, professionals tried before you.
Yeah.
Yep.
But although I think they're professionals for smaller boats, but
right.
I think this was a bit big for them.
Yep.
And anyway, yeah. So I said to Gary, I think I may be able to float it. I said, mate, if you can float it, it's yours.
It's yours.
Well, if you put that in writing, we'll give it a go.
We'll give it a go. That's it.
Yeah. So it ended up costing me. I gave him a case of beer and $1.
Excellent work. But now you got your own boat. How good's that?
I think you got a bargain because, geez, I worked.
Well, you saved him, what, 70, 80 grand was the quote?
70 grand. Yeah.
So you saved him 70 grand, because even if he'd spent the 70 grand, he wouldn't have had a boat.
No.
They would have chopped it up, and the world wouldn't have the boat. It'd be lost to the world, so...
Yeah.
that's a great job, Steve.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, right. Oh, wow.
30 tonnes, 19,100.
So Steve's got a bit of a GoFundMe campaign to help bring this boat back to life, so I'll put a link to that in the description so you can help Steve. He's already helped the world have this boat not get chopped up, so I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to help Steve's project, and we'll keep an eye on it. We'll come and visit you, Steve. We'll watch progress.
That's how the engine comes out.
So does this lift here, or is it just this whole section comes out? Yeah.
Then the roof straight above comes out.
Oh, does it?
You notice that? That's how it's designed to come out.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's news to me because it's got rods, steel rods going up through the timbers, through the uprights, and they're bolted at the top.
So maybe if you unbolt it.
On the top there and keep it tight.
Yeah.
We'll get it straight up here, you can see it.
Oh, okay. Cool. I've never seen that before.
If you look at this aspect,
got the angle.
You have an amazing eye for detail.
He does.
Because it's usually me. He's got to work it out to get them.
Yeah. Adrian's got an eye for detail, like which way do gaskets go on thermostats, all that kind of stuff.
Hey, don't just.
You don't actually use gaskets, do you?
No, they're overrated.
They are totally.
Lots of Celastic.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll go up and then you can come.
Enough Celastic to fill the water pump.
Oh yeah, well, you can fit just like Howie and just use no gas. So the four.
Oh yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4 brackets hold the roof down. Plus, inside here there's the rods that hold the roof tight. They keep it watertight.
Oh, they're like a threaded rod to come down.
Yeah, to pull it all tight. See, it's double clamped all the way to the front.
Yeah.
To the nose.
Yeah.
When the nose is just there. Still weeps a bit.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Like, it's just to appreciate what.
Yeah. But, you could probably recork it one day out of the water but it's not like it's leaking, it's just
it's weeping, yeah.
Well, it's been one of those days. Just dropped Adrian off now. Head back to the island and go have a little chat with Carl. See what's happening with his sailing boat. Yes. You can see it's well above its normal waterline right now. Carl was actually with us in Sydney Harbour when this happened, so he wasn't home to keep an eye on it. Thinking rudder post seal leak. We'll have a look. But right now I need to wash a whole lot of dive gear. Well, thanks for watching. It certainly was a busy day and kind of a fun day, to be honest. It was nice to see Adrian again. I'm seeing him again on Saturday because there's a big boat he's working on just up at Femix Marina, which has twin V12 Detroits in it. So we'll have a look at that as well. All right, well, take care and I'll catch you next week. See ya.
Sydney now. Your training on the feeder resumes. See? Put your foot on it. It opens. Take your foot off. Now you try. Don't just stand there by the kitchen staring at me, thinking I'll give up and find you something even nicer to eat. Come on, peg leg. You too, Daisy, come on. Put some effort in. Engage your little bird brains. Come on, Daffy. Well done. Have a look. Put your foot on it. No, don't just eat the teaser bits. All right. Go on, put your foot on it. Don't just eat those bits without standing on it. That's it. If you keep your foot on it, it stays open. Put your foot on it again. See? Go on. Oh, you goose. Turn around. You're not grasping this concept, are you? There's no such thing as a bad student, only a bad teacher. I don't know if I'm desensitizing you to the sight and sound of it opening, or whether I'm just tormenting you. And go on, look. God, you're getting a fright, aren't you? You're very speakish this morning. Look. Come on, Daisy, you have a try. I've decided this stage is about putting my finger on it till she gets on it, then taking my finger off rather than leaving the rock on it. That way she'll get the idea that it's safe while you're up there, but as soon as you get off, it will close. There you go, Daisy, you get on too. Very good. And it won't close till the last one of you gets off. Maybe you'll learn to trust it. Oh, don't peck, Daisy. God, you're a bully. Just go around the other side, Daisy. Peck her on the bum. Daffy needs feeder training and you need assertiveness training. That's it. Squeeze in on the opposite side of her and she doesn't see you. Well done.